Hey there, people of the internet. Let's talk about pistol braces. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I did a live stream for like 3 hours yesterday to this channel by mistake, but that's fine. I have a live channel, John Crump Live. That's where I do my live streams from usually, but somehow this channel got included. All right, yesterday the ATF dropped a bombshell, but before we get into that, my name is John Crump. I am an investigative journalist with MLN News, the best damn website on the planet, where I report on the ATF, FBI, and all the agencies and organizations that want to violate your God-given and constitutionally protected right to bear arms. I am also a gun rights activist, currently serving with GOA as their Virginia State Director. All right, let's go ahead and talk about pistol braces. Yesterday, the ATF dropped a big bombshell when they released their new classifications for pistol braces. It's going into a 90-day comment period pretty soon, so everyone's going to have to submit a comment on this, just like you have been doing on the unfinished firearms receivers. Basically, this law would make almost every firearm on the market with a brace a SBR. And let's go ahead and talk about what's in there. The first thing, if it's over 26 inches, it's automatically an SBR. So what does that mean? If you measure from the back of a buffer tube to the front of a AR pistol with a 7-inch barrel, it measures 25 inches. So basically anything above 7 inches, it's automatically going to be an SBR, which is pretty much insane. Well, let's say you do have a 7-inch barrel and you do want to have a pistol brace on that. Can you still do it? Short answer is yes, but actually you can't. It's a de facto ban, and we're going to explain why. First, there is a point system. I got to explain the point system before I explain why it's impossible. You have a big worksheet with a bunch of different factors, and 1 point for a minor indicator, 2 points for a moderate indicator, 3 points for a strong indicator, and 4 points for a decisive indicator that it can be used as a shouldering device, or designed to be used as shouldering devices. Some of the point totals you will get is for if it's based on a current design of a stock, or any design of a stock really. If it doesn't have something preventing you from shouldering it, which, let's be honest, none of them really do. If there's no strap, if it doesn't wrap around your arm totally, if it's a cuff design, if there's too much surface area behind, if it's adjustable, if it's made to fit on a regular buffer tube, if it's has flip up sights, if it has a red dot, all these things are indications that a brace can be used as a shouldering device according to the ATF. They give a few examples in the document of devices that would be considered a shouldering device and devices that would be considered not a shouldering device. Like SBA 3, that would be a shouldering device always, no matter what. That's 4 right there, and 4 points total would disqualify you. So SBA 3 is out the door. I wonder who said that. Also, they said SBA Mini, an SB Mini, would not be a shouldering device because it only has 3 points. But what that's taking liberty of doing is if that's on a firearm with no attachments, like nothing. Because if you have a forward hand stop, that's a point that would put it over. If you have sights on it, flip up sights, that's a point that would put it over. If you have a red dot, that will give it 2 points, and that would really put it over. And the ATF said red dots have no place on a pistol because they're not useful on a pistol. I guess they haven't seen any of the other pistols out there with red dots, which is very, very popular right now. This law is actually crazy, and I do call it a law, and I do call it a law on purpose because this is a de facto law made by the ATF as a rule. Now, The ATF says that if you submitted a letter with your device with the pistol brace, that they strongly encourage you to resubmit it because they're not recognizing any of those letters. So basically, every company out there would have to submit all their stuff again, which would have a very little chance of actually getting through the process. Another thing, even if a company sells a rifle, which they call it a rifle, or what we call it, a pistol, an AR pistol, then the ATF can determine that it's actually an SBR, even if it doesn't reach the 4-point threshold. If they decide that the company's trying to violate the NFA, they're trying to circumvent the NFA. So it gives the ATF a lot of leeway in what they can do. So they can prosecute you even if you have everything that falls within the new rules, and and they can still say you're trying to circumvent the NFA. They make a lot of bold claims in here, like AR pistols that are over like 120 ounces or whatever are unwieldy to shoot. Therefore, they can't be shot one-handed. And I think that's the way they're trying to get away around the Americans Disability Act by saying, hey, it's not possible to fire it one-handed, even though we all know it is. So that's a little tricky thing that they are trying to do in there. They also give alternatives, which they can do. But right now, the rule as written would require you to pay a $200 tax stamp for every braced pistol you have, or you can put a 16-inch barrel on it, or you can turn it into the ATF at no cost to you. So basically, they're letting you give them your rifle at no cost, and they think that's okay. There are several alternatives, including grandfathering or a forgiveness of the tap stance fee, or making this a guidance instead of a rule. If they make this a guidance, it wouldn't have force of law. It would just be like, hey, here's your guidance. But as it stands right now, those are just alternatives, and I don't think they're going to adopt any of the alternatives. So we're going to have to fight back. How do we fight back? By submitting comments, even if the comments do nothing. Remember, these aren't questions. We're not begging for rights. We're saying you don't have the authority to do this, and I'm not going to comply. Or you can say, you don't have authority to do this. I will comply. That's up to you. I'm not going to make the choice for you. But we have to submit comments. Even if it doesn't work and the ATF still does that, it still sends a message to the senators and congressmen out there that there is a lot of pushback against this, and maybe we can head this off in Congress. If this does get through the 90-day comment period and they do adopt it, it's going to be 60 days before it goes into effect. So when that goes into effect, you have a couple choices. You can either obey or you can seek the path of noncompliance. I can't make that decision for you. That is going to be up to you to decide which way you go. Gun Owners of America, and I'm sure FPC and a bunch of other organizations are probably already ramping up lawsuits for this. So you're going to see a lot of lawsuits. You're going to see places try to file injunctions to stop this from going into effect until it can be decided in the court system. So after that, we have the court system. Maybe you can get an injunction and stop it from going into effect and fight back. Interesting enough, though, they use a lot of Chevron deference to make these rules, whatever. So the bump stock case. If GOA's bump stock case goes to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court rules in our favor, which the Circuit Court, a panel on the Circuit Court on the 6th Circuit already ruled in our favor, then that would throw a big monkey wrench into this rule, because this is basically what they did with bump stocks, and that would say what they did with bump stocks is unconstitutional. Therefore, this is unconstitutional. So the bump stock case have gained a lot more prominence right now. And this is what I was telling everyone, and this is what a lot of people are telling everyone. The bump stock case and the bump stock ban and challenging the bump stock ban wasn't about bump stocks. It was about other things. Even if you don't have a bump stock, I didn't have a bump stock. Even if you didn't have a bump stock, it was still an important case. And this is showing why it was an important case, because instead of waiting for years and years and years to work through the court system, maybe the bump stock case will be the case that ends all this nonsense of pistol braces and unfinished receivers and other things like that. I can guarantee you gun organizations across the country are gearing up to sue over this. I can tell you for a fact gun owners of America will sue. FPC will sue. SAF will sue. I don't know about the NRA. I have no contact over there, but I can guarantee you all these gun organizations are wetting their jaws just to rip this law apart, because it is unconstitutional, and it's not even a little bit unconstitutional. It is blatantly unconstitutional, and it's our duty as Americans to fight back against unconstitutional laws. So submit your comments, think about what you want to do if it does go into effect, and stay strong, because we can't back down in the face of tyranny. All we can do in the face of tyranny is rise up and fight back. Fight back at the ballot box, fight back by submitting comments, fight back any means necessary to fight back. There are steps to take, and we are taking those steps, but nothing's off the table. All right, I live stream almost every day over on John Crump Live. You can come in and join the conversation. We have a lot of fun. We talk to a lot of different people. It's a great time and a lot of fun. Or you can, and I should say, and you can support me on Patreon. The link to my Patreon is on the screen right now, and it's patreon.com/John Crump. But the most important thing that I need you to do is to like, comment, and share this video. Let me know what you think about these rules. Are you going to comply? Are you not going to comply? You don't have to tell me down in the description, of course, not description, in the comments, of course. But what do you think? Are you going to write a comment? Are you not going to write a comment? Let me know what you're going to say in your comments. I would love to connect with each and every one of you in the comments. I read every comment, even though I don't respond to all of them, but I do read every single one. And I'm just curious to see what the mood is. Are you geared up for the fight? Are you disheartened? Because don't be disheartened. Or are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know. All right. My name is John Crump. Stay ever vigilant. Stay ever free. Keep in the fight. I'm out. Peace, people.